Hello everyone, my name is Sagar and I hope you are doing well. In this video, we'll see how we can create a data entity and computed column. So currently, we are doing the labs of MB-500. So today will be our second lab. So I'm going to create a new project. So I will say my project as MB-500 Lab 2, MB-500. Okay, that. So I will say MB-500 Lab 2. And we'll simply create a new project. Okay, so what we are going to do, we'll create a data entity first, okay, and then we'll see how we can create the computed column there. So I will tell you, one by one. Okay, now the first thing is that I will simply click on add. I will click on new items. I will expand this node. I'll go to data model. And here as I need to create entity, so I will click on this data entity here. Okay, and then further, so I will give a name to my data entity. I will call it as my data entity computed column, and I will simply add this. Again, whenever you will add data entity, it will take some time. Okay, then as soon as you are done here, so I'm going to create data entity for my customer. So I will select my cust table from here. Okay, and further I will give some good name to my public entity name and collection name. So I can say here my data entity computed column, and here I will simply say the public collection name as my data entity, which will help me for OData entity. Okay, and then I don't want my staging table, so I'm going to uncheck this, but whereas I need my view and maintain privilege, so I will go ahead. So I'll click on next, and then the next visit I will able to see what all fields I need. So I'll focus on three fields only, like my account number, credit maximum, and customer group. Alright guys, so I will click on this select all so that all the box will be unchecked. Again, like whenever you're dealing with data entity, it will take some time, as this cust table is also a big table. So I'll be interested in three fields, that is account num, and even like let me, so if you see this is kind of mandatory, then the credit max should also be mandatory. Okay, currency code also seems to be mandatory, so I will pick this one as well. I'll pick credit max as well, and then I will go with cust group as well. Here we go. Now I will click on this add virtual field as well. So I will simply click on next here. Okay, and let me open my data entity and let me see what all fields I got here. Okay, so I clicked on virtual field 2 times, so two virtual field got created here. Let me navigate to properties. So what I'm going to do, this is somewhat slow. I will delete this field and I'll focus on this field, and I'm going to give a name, something called cust name. And here label I'm going to remove. I'm also going to remove the help text as well, but whereas I will choose the EDT type as, let me click here and let me search for cust name. So guys, I have just created two virtual fields, And I will create two methods with this name like cursed name and balance MST. So first of all, let me tell you what we will have in these two fields. In first field, we'll basically have the name of our customer. Okay, so typically, we'll write a query like this. For example, we will say select, okay, asterisk from my dir party table. Okay, then I will say where my dir party table dot rec id is equals to this would be coming from my cursed table dot party, right? And then I will say and dir party table, and I'm also going to add this partition as well. I will say cursed table dot partition. So I'm going to exactly use this particular query. Let me copy this. I will copy this and let me go here. I'll start writing this code. Okay, so first thing is that I will say private static server str, and I will say name of my function is custom. Okay, and the second thing is that let me simply return. I will write strfmt here, and here what I will do, I will say this, and here I will write my SQL query here. Alright, so my SQL query will be completed here. Okay, then I will need to specify all data dynamically. Okay, and at the end I will need to return. Okay, but first thing is that I will need to use the sysdict table here. Let me write it again. Sysdict table. I will say sysdict table equals to new sysdict table, and here we'll need to pass a table ID. So here we are going to use a dir party table, right? Because we need the name field and that is available inside our dir party table. Okay, and let me give some good name. I can say here this as dict table dir party table. Alright, so this is completed. Okay, now next I will need to choose a specific field from here. Okay, so currently if you see here, instead of all fields, I'll be only interested in name field here, right? So my query will be something like this. Okay, now I'm going to change all this value, this. Okay, so let me tell you what all I will change. First of all, let me frame the query in a proper way. And here what I can do, I can move this here. Okay, now the first thing is that here we should have name, right? So I'm going to replace it name. Okay, next we need dir party table here. So instead of dir party, I will simply write percentage here. So I'm going to write percent here. I'm going to write percent here. Okay, now I will start writing from where my dir party table will come. So my dir party will come from dict table dot, I can say here name, I will say db, backend would be SQL. Alright. And now further, I need name field here. So this name field will be coming from this dir party table. There is a name field there, right? So I'm going to put 2 here. Okay. Then I need to specify here my dir party table dot. Here I will say field name because the name field is a part of dir party. So I will need to enter here id. So I will say field name. Here I will say dir party table comma name. Okay, that's it. And here I will specify my db backend is nothing, it's SQL. Alright, now as soon as that will be done, okay, now what I'm going to do now, the third thing is rec id. So this rec id again will come from dir party table, right? So I can write here 2. I'm going to write exactly same code, the only thing I will change it uh, rec id. Okay, I will say field name. Here I can say my field name, say dir party table comma rec id db backend SQL. That's it. All right, now this is also completed. Okay, now the third thing is, and actually this was 3, my mistake. All right. Okay, now let's come into fourth part, partition. So this partition would also be coming from my dir party table. So this time what I'm going to do, let me copy this. Okay, the only thing we'll need to change is partition here, right? So you can say partition. Okay, now all this is completed. Now we need to change this party and partition. Now this is not the part of this particular table. This is a part of my cus table. Okay, so one second again, there is an issue. I think I forget one, this here. Yeah, okay, now these two are part of my cus table. So my cus table belongs to my data entity field, data entity data source. Okay, so let me finish this, then we'll see what are these errors. Okay, so now here what I will do, I will say this as my 5 and I can say this one as 6. Remember, I need account name and partition from my cus table. Okay, so I can say 6 here. So let me quickly write the code for this. So I'm going to use syscomputed column here. I will say return field. Okay, here I need to specify name of my data entity first. So I will say table str. And what is name of my data entity? It is my data entity column. Okay. Now the second thing is I need the data source. So I can say data entity data source string. I have to specify name of my data entity here. So I can say my data entity. I will say my data entity computed column. Here I have to specify my data source. My data source is cus table. Okay. So I will specify cus table here. At the end I need to specify my field name. So the field that I'm interested in is account num. Okay, so this will also be completed. Okay, and now let me close this. Okay, and I need the same code here, but only the partition needs to be changed. So I will simply copy paste this, and here instead of account num I need partition. Right, that's it. All right, so now okay, so I think this might be the issue. Okay, then this is working fine now. Okay. Now we'll start writing our next method. Okay, so for our next method, let me tell you the SQL code first. Okay, so we are going to write something called select asterisk from my cust trans, because it contains all the information related to my customer transaction. So I will apply multiple filters here. So for example, okay, so let me do one thing here. So I will say this as my cust trans sum. Let me write in capital trans sum. Okay. Now I can say where my cust trans sum dot. Okay, it will be account num, right? Account num. So here I will get this from my what do we call cust table dot account num, right? Dot account num. Okay, further I can again say my cust trans. Okay, here I can specify my translate. Okay, so it should be greater than a specific date, right? Then again I will say and this time what I will do, so I will apply a filter like up to what date I need data. So I will again say trans date, and then I will say this should be less than equals to certain date, right? Okay. Then further I can put a data area ID partition as well. So I can say dot, for example, I can apply filter on data area ID. So I can say data area ID, something like this. Okay. Then again and then I can put partition as well. Partition, something like this. Alright, so I think these are the sufficient filters. Okay, but now here one thing is that as we need a sum of our amount MST column, right? So we need sum of this particular field, okay, for a specific customer. Now sometimes a customer may not have data as well. Okay, so in that scenario, what we can do, we can use this goal, this function. Okay, so if we would not have any value, so it will provide us 0. Okay, yeah, so this is the query that we are going to leverage. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, so here I will create method. I will say private static server str. I will say balance mst. I will start and end my function, and here what I will do, I will simply paste the code. I will say return strfmt. Alright, this might give me some hard time. Okay, so I think there are issues due to this, so I will say date. I will say date here as well. Okay, then I will close this and I will close this. Okay, and now this looks fine. Okay, and then further, what I can do, I can put them somewhere. Okay, alright. So guys, we'll do the exact same steps. So first thing is that this time our focus would be on our custrans table, right? So I can say sysdict table. I will write dict table. My table is custrans equals to new sysdict table, and here I need to pass my table ID, that is nothing, that is custrans. Okay, so I will enter here. Alright, now one by one we'll start writing like placeholder value for everything. So for example, this custrans. Okay, so I'm going to change custrans at all the places, instead of, see, we just need to do it at one place because we already have the placeholder here. So I can simply say one here, these values are same only. Then for instead of one, I need to specify what would be this field. Okay, so this field is, let me press one enter here first. Yeah, so dict table custrans dot name, and I can say db backend is SQL. Okay, now this mapping is done for this. Okay, now let's do mapping for this. Okay, so this is something coming from my custrans account num, so I have to specify. So here I will say dict table dot field name, and here I need to specify my field ID, that is field num. Okay, I can say custrans. Okay, and here will be account num. Okay, and I think this should be fine. Okay, here I need to specify this db backend SQL. Okay, now once this is done, then my third target would be this trans date field. Okay, so let me say 3 here. Let me say 3 here. Okay, so this would be nothing. I just need to say I need to use same piece of code. The only modification I need to do is I have to specify here translate. Okay, now similarly, this is my data area ID from my custrans, so I can write here 4. Okay, then this is the partition, this is again from the same, so here I can write this 5. Now I need to specify the field num here. Okay, so the first one was, I think it was data area ID. Okay, similarly now I need it for partition, so I can write here partition. That's it. Okay, so we are all done till here. Okay, now what is this? This is something coming from my main data entity. Okay, so I'm going to name this one as 6. Okay, now I need to I can exactly leverage this piece of code. Okay, so I'm going to copy, and here I can specify this. Okay, now then this is 7 and 8 here, so I'm going to provide min and max value. So the min value is 1900 in SQL, the maximum value is 2154 here, right? So here I will say this as 7 and this one as 8. Okay, and now let me write the sys computed column for this. Sys computed column, I will use this written literal here, And here, first of all, I'm going to use my minimum value. So I will use this minimum value function, that is state null. Okay. And once this is done, then I need to specify my what do we call maximum value. So here I can say return literal, and I will say date max. What is the function? I think it's date max. All right. So all this is completed. Okay. Now I need to specify this one. I think this was, let me check. Yeah, this is data area ID and partition. Okay. Data area ID and partition. Okay. Now again, we already have the code for data area ID and partition. So let me first of all specify. Here it would be 9 and this would be 10. So in our previous method, I have explained you this right nicely. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and I can paste it here. Okay. Now first of all, I need to remember at the fourth place I have data area ID. So I need code for data area ID first. So what I will do a modification here. Instead of partition, I will say this as data area ID. And for partition, I can simply copy paste. Okay, I'm not doing proper formatting because we don't want to confuse, because we are writing code like in a hurry way. Okay, now all this is complete. Oh, here is I missed. So this should come after this one. So let me cut this. Okay, and let me put this one here. Yeah, here this is fine now. Okay, and here why I have written, okay, it was 10. Okay, now we are only left with this one. Okay, and this is actually part of this only, so it will be fairly simple. So I can say here 11. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply say my dict table dot field name to provide field ID. Okay, so the field ID would be from my custrans amount MST field, right? Custrans amount MST. All right. Here I can say db backend SQL. Okay, so this should be fine. Let me check if I have missed something here. Yeah, this looks to fine. Yeah, now at the end you simply need to map both of these fields, so that is something I have already done. Okay, here also balance MST. Okay, now you can build and sync this. Once you will do build and sync. Alright guys, now like if I query this at the backend, I can see my data easily. Okay, I can see the balance and the customer name. Okay, and whereas if I will go to my front end, okay, and let me go to my data. So here what I will do, I will write data here, and then I will need to write name of my public collection. So let me enter this and I should able to see the data. Alright guys, so I just query the data using OData, and here you can see we were easily able to get the customer name and the balance. So this customer doesn't have balance, but whereas if you see this retail San Diego, so this have the balance and and as well as the customer name is also coming. Okay, so this is how we can create a data entity and some complex computed column as well. Thank you for watching this video.